So today we're going to be going over some fantastic pro-level fragrances that I think you should know about if you don't already. You might not stumble across these and really like them a lot when you're first starting out. That's okay, nothing wrong with that. But as you start to work your way further and further into the depths of this hobby, you start wanting more, you start craving more, and you're always looking for that next best thing to keep you hooked and to keep you interested and just to kind of keep the excitement going. These are going to provide that for you, or at least if you have any taste similar to mine, it should. These are ones that, for me personally, have kind of kept it alive for me, and really I think these are pretty good releases across the board, and if you're looking for something a bit new and exciting, you might find it here. Now, if you're wanting to purchase any of these, I'll put links to them down below. I want to get things kicked off with a flanker of a already pretty popular classic scent, but it's Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum. So the original Noir Extreme, which is an eau de parfum, is well known at this point, and it's been out for a while, and a lot of people like it. And maybe that is somewhat of an entry-level scent, but I don't think it really is for everybody, though. I think that one, it kind of takes a little bit more of a specific, even acquired taste, because it is pretty sweet. It's got cardamom and oriental kind of dessert smell to it. Might not be for everybody. It's definitely not like your traditional cologne, a fresh aromatic scent, right? And it's not necessarily masculine smelling either. It's just different. Now, Noir Extreme Parfum simply just takes it to the next level. It's heavier, it's stronger, better performing. They're introducing a really nice leather note in here, which is welcome to me because it just gives it a little bit more of a masculine feel, which the original was kind of lacking a little bit. And I just think it makes this DNA a little bit more interesting and exciting. And like I said, if you're brand new, this might not be something that sounds good to you, might not be something that you would like all that much. But as you continue to progress and work through the hobby, it's things like these that just kind of keep you going a little bit. Next up, we have Hugo Boss The Scent Magnetic. So the Maneka fruit in these are classic, and that's kind of what this line is known for. So you get a lot of it here. You also get wheat, or bran actually officially is the note, which kind of has a little bit of a wheat smell kind of texture to it, which is interesting, you know, on its own regard, but that's kind of what it's about. You're also getting just some woods in here, a bit of Tonka. At times, I feel like I pick up on a little bit of patchouli, but it's not overly prominent. Really does focus in on that Maneka fruit, which makes it stand out like nothing else. And like I had mentioned, that's what this lineup is known for, and these are pretty distinct. You know, when you smell any of the Hugo Boss The Scents, for the most part, except for the new one, you pick up on that note. It's very distinct, and it smells great, very unique. And it's different, so it might not be something that you would expect a cologne to smell like. If you're just used to fresh, aquatic, shower gel scents, you know, this might not be something that you're necessarily looking for, but as time goes on, you start to really appreciate things like this that are just kind of going against the grain and doing something a bit different. So Hugo Boss The Scent Magnetic, it's a really good one. It's newer, but it's starting to stabilize a little bit to where discounters will pick this one up for, you know, $80, $85 sometimes. Next up, we have Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé. This one has iris, chestnut, whiskey, and pretty much all of you know my thoughts on this one at this point. If you've been watching my channel since it first came out anyways, love it. By far, my current favorite release within this lineup. And I've said it before, but I don't see them topping this one anytime soon. Maybe I'll be wrong and they'll release something next year that just, you know, puts this one to shame, but I don't see that happening. Just think, it took them this long to get here. And I'm not discrediting the other releases leading up to this because I'm a big fan of pretty much all of them. They're all really good scents. But this is just by far the best one by a long shot. So really cool to see this. I think it's great, a nice, boozy, rich, gourmand take on that DNA. If I didn't say it already, there's chestnut in here too, and that just kind of gives it some of that modern feel because it's used often, but then also a little bit of a gourmand twist. So it's very addicting. It's just great, a fantastic scent that really keeps things exciting, you know, especially for this lineup here where maybe a few of them weren't, you know, something that excited you all that much. this one turns things around. It's a great release. Next up, we have Prada Lunar Rosa Black. Another favorite of mine, very powdery. It's got amber and tonka bean. That's basically it. That's all you get for the most part. So dusty, powdery, not a masculine style scent. It's very unique and could be considered quite odd depending on where you're coming from. So I would say beginners out there, this might not be something that you're gonna like. You might not care for this. You might be surprised in a not so pleasant way because you see this one get talked about all the time. And it's because a lot of us really like it, but that's because maybe at this point we've smelled so many things that this is something a bit different and new. So I think a lot of people are surprised when they go and blind buy this one and they are repulsed by it, you know? And so I just always try to make it clear, this is not for everybody. Again, to double down on it and use the word again, powdery. It's really what it is. So be careful with this one. But for me, it's great. And it's something that I love to wear in fall and winter time. It's a very comforting scent. I just really like it. Discounters, you know, I think I've been having this one more consistently for around $100. And so, you know, really not too bad in the grand scheme of things compared to what new designers are going for these days. Next up, we have Manera Tonka Cola, another fan favorite of mine personally. And when they announced this one, I had a pretty good feeling I was going to like it. Just looking at the name, first of all, Tonka Cola. I'm a big fan of both of those notes. And then, you know, just kind of diving further into it, looking at some of the other existing notes in here, look great. They've got a cherry. They have a Coca-Cola note, tonka bean, obviously. Now, kind of the way I describe this one is it's Manera's take on a Rosa Enigma style scent or Creation E. They're the same thing. Parfum Cologne or the Parfum, whichever. Rosa, they kind of started that, you know, little sector there, that cognac, tobacco, fizzy, cola smelling scent, right? Because it does have a bubbly kind of fizziness to go along with it. So you might say it's kind of like a rum and coke tobacco smelling scent, somewhat. So really unique, and I love that scent by Rosa. But this is Manera's kind of little twist on that style. This is not a clone of Creation E. It's not an alternative in as far as getting similar to that scent itself, but it is in a similar category. Just doesn't really have the booziness, more so just that soda, cola, cherry smell. Big fan of it, absolutely love it. And I'm already looking way off into the future where I would imagine at some point they're going to put out an extrait, an intense Tonka Cola. They put the intense first with these. They've already done it with some of their other best sellers so far, Cedrat Boisé and Red Tobacco. I can see this one continuing to do very well, and I could see this one within a few years having an intense flanker created, which this is already amazing. It's already very strong, and I love everything about it, but I'm sure they can find a way to make it even better, so I'm excited about that. Let's go for another new release. We have Armani Stronger With You Tobacco. So this one is new as of this year, so pretty well hot off the presses, and I like it a lot, and I already covered this one in a video. But what I like is that it's really doubling down on the tobacco, but also one thing you'll notice when you try this one out, and it's something you'll pick up on when you first smell it, like off the opening like that, does have the Stronger With You DNA, but not as prevalent as the others. Absolutely, leather, oud, amber, and so on. It tones that back a little bit, and they really focus on the tobacco. It is strong. It's kind of earthy. It almost has a little bit of a Middle Eastern smell to it from just the style that they're using, almost like you would pick up on just a little bit of oud here. It's a pretty heavy and rich scent. You might not be expecting it. And I know Stronger With You, the lineup gets, you know, some hate, and it's kind of, you know, brushed over, easily overlooked at this point. But I think this tobacco release would surprise a lot of you guys. If you like the note, this might be worth giving it a try. It is better than you might think. Next up, we have Jean Paul Gaultier Lamal Aviator. So this one's got mint, violet leaves, and woods. A nice green, refreshing, summery take on just this DNA. And it's kind of a little bit of a CH Min comparison going on. with the green kind of grassiness and then the somewhat sweet, airy lightness that it has going on. So you definitely pick up on that a little bit, although this one is considerably more fresh and it does have a lot more of an ozonic note to it. I don't think they listed that off, ozonic notes, but you definitely pick up on it. Very airy and kind of just wispy, light. It's just coming from the violet leaves here is where that's probably really pulling from, but it does smell very ozonic as well. And violet leaves do kind of give off that cooling, green, refreshing smell. So definitely one that is in that refreshing category where even if it's really hot outside, you can wear this one and it's not going to bug you too much. I think this one could be a little bit hard to find sometimes. It might not be as consistently in stock as some of the others, but it does pop up from time to time and it's worth being on the lookout for. Last up for this one, we have Valentino Wo Intense. You guys know I love Iris, and at this point there are many to choose from, so I kind of am going for this one. Wo Intense has the Iris, has the Tonka bean, has leather. Okay, so kind of already got that fixed with the Gentleman we talked about earlier, but that's pretty boozy gourmand. This is a little bit more like Iris, leathery, masculine, just a different style, different take, less sweet. It doesn't have that same type of sweet, edible, delicious approach. Rather, it has a more masculine, leathery, kind of upscale, fancy smell to it, I guess is one way to describe it. Big fan of Dior Intense as well. Also love just the regular Gentleman Eau de Parfum, and then Caroline Herrera's Iris Empire, and there's so many other Iris-focused scents to name off, but this is one that I wanted to feature here because I think it is one of the more classy ones in terms of still being very wearable and you know, being a good compliment puller. Definitely check this out if you want something classy for the fall and winter time. Valentino Wo Intense is where we're going to end it today. So I think these are some fragrances that all pros should know about. There's going to come a point where you just want more, and these kind of provide that, or at least they did for me. I'll link them all down below, and if any of these are out of stock right now, or you're kind of looking at wanting to be notified of when new releases hit discounters or when rare discontinued fragrances pop up, you can jump on my mailing list and texting list at the link and number down below. It's completely free, and I send out notifications anytime something good comes up. Just recently, we had Dior Homme Parfum for 125 bucks. Typical going rate is like 170, 180, sometimes even a bit more. Issey Miyake Polaris came in, Issey Miyake Bois Arctic, many more to name off, stuff popping up. So jump on there and you'll be the first to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.